a big amount of credit to both Serhii Bohachuk, who fought like a champion, and in our eyes is still a champion. A lot of credit to Vergil Ortiz, who showed he's a true warrior in the ring, going 12 rounds with Serhii Bohachuk. I want to acknowledge Jeff Mullen from the Nevada Athletic Commission. He was very fair through the whole process. I mean, we're going to go back to the hotel and celebrate, because in our hearts, and Serhii knows that he's a champion. He would be here right now. He didn't want to go to the hospital. The commission mandated that he goes to get a precautionary CT scan, so we're not going to argue with the commission or the ringside doctors. It's only precautionary. And my understanding is Vergil did the same thing. So without taking anything away from the fight, you got to give both of these warriors a lot of credit. This is literally one of the candidates for a fight of the year. I mean, the way these guys fought over 12 rounds, nonstop action. Bohachuk was pressing the action. Credit to the Nevada Athletic Commission and the WBC for the instant replay rule, because the referee did miss the first round knockdown, so they changed that. So if you have 2 knockdowns and you have Bohachuk pressing the action and you have him landing more punches, you got to give Vergil credit. He landed hard punches. Again, we're not taking anything away from Vergil. It's not his fault with the scoring. I want to give him 100% credit, him and his team. And Manny Robles had Serhii prepared 100%. Robert Garcia did a tremendous job in Vergil's corner. We just feel in our heart of hearts, and I'm the first one, if someone loses the fight, I think for the sport of boxing, you know, these hometown decisions, and I'm not saying this is one, but these decisions, you know, need to stop. It's for the good of the sport. If Bohachuk won the fight or had a draw, like one judge had it a draw, he should keep his title. But it's just not right. If you look at social media, you know, his value went up tremendously, as if he still kept his title, because you know, His Excellency came up after the fight and said he wants him on one of his future shows. Mauricio Sulaiman from the WBC said he's going to support Bohachuk 100%, as if he's still their champion. So his stock went up. Naturally, Vergil Ortiz stock went up a lot, but we just we don't agree with the decision. I'll let Manny say a few words. He can say a few words about the training, the preparation, his view on the fight. Every text that I've gotten and everything I've read on social media says Bohachuk won that fight. So it's just for us, we feel that he's still a champion, and we feel he won that fight and should still be considered a champion.
I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. I'm still upset. You know, I believe the decision should have went our way. I mean, you all know sometimes, you know, you're watching a fight, you're watching a close fight, and you try to find a way to say, okay, well, you know, he got a 10-8. It's a close fight. What's going to make the difference is the knockdown, right? But in this case, there wasn't one knockdown. There was 2 knockdowns, and we still didn't get the decision. I mean, one judge had it a draw, the other 2 had it for Vergil. I don't take anything away from Vergil, man. Vergil's a warrior. I worked with Vergil in the past, as you all know, and I had nothing but respect for Vergil and his team. And Robert's a great guy, man. He's a class act. We get along great. We squashed whatever bad situation there was. And I went and I spoke to Robert. I spoke to the dad. I spoke to the kid. I spoke to Serhii, and I had Serhii be a gentleman, be a good sport. Let's go congratulate Vergil on a win. As much as it hurts, and as much as we believe we won the fight, you know, I learned one thing a long time ago from my dad, man. You know, I said in Spanish better, but I'm trying to do the best I can in English. But what he would tell me was, in victory, you keep your head down and stay humble. And in defeat, you keep your head up and to show your dignity. And that's what happened today. You know, we unfortunately, like I said, we lost the fight.
Lost the decision. He didn't lose the fight, he lost the decision.
We lost the decision. But I told him, keep your head up, man. Keep your head up, and you know, because you definitely fought your ass off, and you know, most of us saw him win, and I don't know what to say. I'm definitely disappointed. I've been doing this for a long time, and you know, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. I hope I don't get myself in trouble with the commission or the judges or the WBC or any of these so-called sanctioning bodies, man. But I get sick and tired of this shit time and time again. How unfair they could be to these fighters, like tonight with Serhii, how unfair they could be.
Yep.
They put their lives on the line, everything that they go through just to get to this point. And for these officials to I don't know what the fuck they're looking at, man. And not only that, nobody holds them accountable. Nobody holds them accountable. They interview they interview the fighters, they interview the judges, the managers, the promoters, they interview everybody except the judges. They go home. They just go home, and nobody tells them anything. Nobody questions them. Nobody puts them on the spot, and I believe that's got to stop. I believe they should be held accountable. They should interview them immediately after the fight and ask them, what the fuck were you looking at? Excuse my French, but, it is what it is.
You look at the 12th round, all three judges gave Vergil the last 3 rounds. You look at the 12th round, Vergil's tape was coming undone, his nose was busted, his eye was busted, he was breathing heavy. Serhii was coming forward, had the momentum. They stopped the fight because his tape somehow mysteriously came undone in the 12th round, and he still didn't get that round. So, you can't give every close round to Vergil. Vergil landed, again, we're not taking anything away from him. He landed some hard shots, but Serhii was pressing the action. He was coming forward. He was landing more punches than Vergil. And plus, I knew it was close. With the second knockdown, I figured, okay, there's no way they can overcome 2 knockdowns. And somehow they figured out a way to do that.
Question here?
Manny, quick question. I know how much you put into this. What did you express to Serhii after the fight when you're back in the locker room? What did you tell him?
Man, what do? You know, normally in these type of situations, you know how it is when you're the champ. You got a whole lot of friends, and everybody's there for you. Everybody's there to celebrate. Look, fortunately, he has a wonderful family and great friends that were there for him in this case. But you know how it is, and when you lose, everybody seems to just magically disappear. But I just told him I was very proud of him, because that's my job. My job is to lift my fighter through good and bad, through thick and thin. My job is to be there 100% for my fighters, for not just for Serhii, for any of my fighters. But in this case, unfortunately, you just got to keep your head up and keep going. That's exactly what I told him. Look, I love you, man. I love you like a son. And keep your head up and just keep going. We're going to do this again.
Tom, I had a question for you.
Sure.
How likely, or if you would press or ask or have the WBC mandate for an immediate rematch instead of, other plans that Golden Boy may have?
I'm going to talk to Manny and the team, but I think if we press for a rematch, if everyone is in agreement, I think the WBC will support their champion if there's whatever the scoring, or there's controversy in the scoring. So I think they could mandate a rematch, but we'll see. Mauricio Suleiman said that he would support Serhii from his side. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see what options there are. The great thing about the super welterweight division for both Vergil and Serhii is that there's a lot of other great fights out there for both of them. If it's not a rematch, I mean, this is such a great fight. This really should be fight of the year. But this is such a great fight. This could be done 2 times or 3 times, like a Canelo Triple G type of trilogy. Unfortunately, we had bad scoring in that trilogy too. So I don't know. I'm not sure what we need to do up here with these decisions. But the difference there is that Serhii had 2 knockdowns. Triple G definitely won that first fight, but he didn't have the knockdown, so he couldn't make as strong of an argument.
Wow.
But I mean, this one here was this one's a tough one to overcome. But we're not hanging our heads. Serhii's stock went up a lot. Somehow Vergil went up to I think it was a 5-1 favorite in the betting odds, and I'm not sure how people thought that, because they must not have watched that Brian Mendoza fight, the guy that knocked out Sebastian Fundora, and Serhii dominated him. And if you look at Vergil's face, I think that kind of tells the story of this fight.
Hello, Ernesto Amador from No Puedes Jugar Boxeo. I have
Ernesto.
a quick question for you, Tom, and the other one in Spanish for Manny. Let me start with you. I know you need to talk with the team and decide together, but what are you willing to do in order to fight, let's say, for the rematch? Because I mean, everybody saw what's happened with the judges. This is the first question for you, and then for Manny.
Well, I have a good relationship with Eric and Oscar, and this was such a great fight for the fans. I mean, beforehand, both sides were predicting this was going to be a great fight. I think we knew Serhii's capabilities. We knew what he can do as a champion. He had that great fight against Mendoza, and this was such a great fight. We could easily work out a rematch, or if there's different opportunities, we'll have to sit down and see what makes the most sense.
Manny, antes de la pregunta, te aclaro que en mi caso particular, no sé los demás, he buscado a los jueces. Y lo que hacen los jueces, y creo que tiene que cambiar, es que respondan. Siempre hay negativas y no dejan que los entrevistes. Entonces, te aclaro que sí los hemos buscado algunos, no sé los demás. Pero todo lo que dijiste, incluidas las malas palabras, se valen. En español, explícanos, por favor, la molestia tan grande que tienes, Manny, en español.
Bueno, imagínate lo que acabas de decir, pero ahora en español, ¿no? Que hay que los jueces, alguien los tiene que ser responsables de sus actos, ¿no? Todos siempre, después de una pelea, entrevista, en este momento deberían de estar aquí respondiendo preguntas y no están. Se van a sus casas a dormir, no sé cómo duermen en la noche, la verdad. La verdad, no sé cómo llegan a sus casas y duermen tranquilamente, como que si no hubieran hecho nada, ¿me entiendes? O sea, y eso tiene que parar, canijo, en mi opinión, ¿no? Y obviamente me siento muy molesto. Respeto a Roberto, respeto a Vergil, su equipo, ellos no tienen nada que ver con la decisión, obviamente los peleadores hacen su trabajo, van, se suben arriba del ring y se la rifan y arriesgan sus vidas arriba del ring. ¿Para esto? ¿Para esto, hermano? No se vale. Ya es curioso, estaba hablando con Roberto después de la pelea, somos amigos, ¿no? Y le digo a Roberto, una anécdota, le digo, Roberto, que precisamente ayer después del pesaje, Rudy Hernández empezó con esto, ¿no? ¿Qué vas a estar? Que para la semana que viene, ¿dónde vas a estar? No, yo ya sé dónde voy a estar. Le digo, unas pinches vacaciones porque yo necesito descansar de esto, carnal. Si no me va a pegar un ataque, la verdad, o sea, es decepcionante pasar por esta situación donde te sientes ganador y la gente, el público, la prensa, no puedes tapar el sol con un dedo y que te vean ganar y por unas cuantas personas que piensen. Sí, la verdad sí, mucha gente me dice, oye, pero ¿por qué? Que síguele, pero es que no entienden el sentimiento. Cuando eres apasionado, cuando estás enamorado del boxeo, llevas una pasión como yo, que me entrego yo a este deporte y te hacen este tipo de cosas. La verdad, canijo, me dan ganas de retirarme ya, de irme de carpintero otra vez a la pinche construcción. Prefiero hacer eso que estar aguantando este tipo de situaciones, ¿me entiendes? Gracias a Dios no tengo esa necesidad, pero de veras, sinceramente, a veces es demasiado para mí. No soy ningún viejo, o sea, pero tengo muchos años en este deporte, toda mi vida. Entonces, como que ya dices tú, no, ya no puedo más, ¿me entiendes? No puedo más.
Okay. Tom, Cynthia, Best Women's Boxing Show period. So I spoke with Turkey right after the fight, and I asked about Turkey. I asked Turkey if Zoo would be in the mix, and he said not interested. Now, would Serhii or would you guys be interested, maybe possibly Fundora, if Spence falls out, since he's really entertaining Crawford versus Ortiz? Would Sebastian Fundora be part of the mix? And if not, can Tim Tszyu be part of the mix? But it would, unfortunately, probably not Riyadh season.
Look, Sebastian Fundora is a great champion. Samson is here in the room. We have a lot of respect for Fundora. In fact, Serhii sparred Fundora a lot up at when they were both together in the Big Bear training camp. So definitely Fundora would be a great fight. That was the originally slated fight before Keith Thurman got injured, and then Fundora fought Tszyu. I think Tszyu would be a great fight. Any of those guys. That's a great thing about this division. Fundora, Tszyu. You can go down the list. Charlo, Spence, Crawford. Any of those guys or a rematch. So we just got to see what makes the most sense on that.
Real fast, Serhii told me in the interview, he said he could move up in weight or even move down, maybe for boots.
That's not happening. He's staying at 154.
He's strong. He's strong
Staying
at
at
154.
154. He has no problem making
Yeah.
154.
And again, we don't feel he lost the fight, so there's no reason for him to start moving around divisions. I think he should stay at 154 and put on some more of these great fights.
All right, last question. All right. Oh, Manny, you got Serhii, when he was already a pro, but you seem emotional today, especially speaking about him. Can you speak maybe a moment or something about him that you feel like, he not only he deserves you guys defending him, but especially, your emotions right now?
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that as a coach, these kids, you're not just a coach, you're like a father figure to them. Coach Jeff Mayweather back there, like, yeah, like that's right. Yeah, right, Coach? I mean, you become a father figure to these kids, man, and you change their lives. A lot of these kids, there's only a handful of fighters who make it to this level, make it to this is the cream of the crop, right? I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this, right? But I work with so many fighters, and I'm proud to say that a lot of these kids, you save their lives. You make a difference in their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is a poor man's sport. Boxing is a poor man's sport, man. I don't know anybody that's got money that's in the gym trying to be a fighter. You know what I mean? All these kids come from the ghetto. They come from the hood, and they're trying to make a difference in their lives. And it's us as coaches it's our responsibility as coaches to make sure that we take them in the right path. And at the very least if they don't become world champions, because it's extremely difficult to get to this level, to make a difference in their lives, to teach them responsibility, to teach them how to work, to teach them how to be people, good citizens, and that's bigger than winning a world title. When you can make a difference in someone's life for the better, to be responsible, to be good citizens, to teach them how to work. You're in the gym every day. You work. Boxing, man. It's an everyday sport. Nobody works as hard as a fighter in any sport. I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that anybody can work harder than Serhii or harder than a lot of these fighters tonight, including Vergil. I seen Vergil work, man. He's a workhorse. But you do get emotional. You do get emotional because you put so much time and effort into years. It takes years. This didn't happen overnight. Did it?
Especially in Serhii's situation.
Exactly.
Everything that he went through in Ukraine, he was there when his country got invaded, and he had an appointment 2 weeks after the invasion. The U.S. consulate closed. Being there, his brother's fighting in the military. I mean, when you hear this type of story, everything it took for him to officially get permission to leave Ukraine, had to go to Poland, took a month in Poland to get his visa, then he came over here, and then he had those comeback fights. He earned the number 2 rating in the WBC. Then he had the great win over Mendoza, and then for all that hard work and everything he went through, everything he's fighting for his family. He has a young family. And then to lose a decision, not lose the fight, but lose a decision like this, that's the part that makes it frustrating for Manny and I.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any last words, Tom, Manny? That's it?
No, I think we're good.
Back here, I just started to set a question. Hey, Tom, if you guys can't get the immediate rematch, where do you guys want to go with Serhii?
It really depends. I mean, I'd have to talk to Manny and Serhii and just see what options are out there. But, the good thing is there's so many different options for him, especially the way he fought. He's on the forefront of everyone's social media right now, and everyone thinks that he won. They won the fight, should still be a champion. So I think there's going to be some great matchups for him. This fight, it's unfortunate it happened now because we could have built that fight up. Both these guys are young in the prime of their career, and most fighters won't take this type of risk. Normally, Vergil wouldn't fight. A guy like Vergil wouldn't fight a tough champion like Bohachuk, and vice versa. But they both wanted to fight, and could easily be a rematch. Could easily be, different options for him. But with this division, there's going to be a lot of options for both fighters.
And let's remind everyone, right, that if there's somebody that wanted this fight, it was Serhii Bohachuk.
Yep.
He wanted this fight.
He pressed for the fight.
He could have taken another route, and he says, I want to fight Vergil.
We had an offer to go to Australia for a bigger payday to fight Tim Tszyu over there, and he preferred to stay here. in the U.S. and fight Vergil when the situation came up
He
with
didn't have to.
Golden
He-
Boy.
He didn't
Yeah.
have to fight Vergil,
Right.
but he did. That says a lot about Serhii Bohachuk.
All right, thank you guys.